Ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome people, welcome to Lovers and Fighters podcast. We're your hosts Archie Monge,
Rienel Bronilla.
Welcome to the show. In terms of what we're going to talk about, we're going to cover a few things. This is more of an introductory show. This is more about setting up how this is going to look and what we're going to cover moving forward. I suppose we should start with why this is called Lovers and Fighters.
Exactly.
Both of us, I'd say, are in equal measures lovers and fighters. The scale probably tips more for a lover for me and more of a fighter for him.
Yeah.
I'm Archie Monge, I'm a stand-up comedian and currently a bartender at a bar.
I am an MMA fighter, amateur MMA fighter. I'm also a landscaper, hoping to move away from that and start my professional career, hopefully by the end of 2024, but we'll see.
Big things happening, man.
You know that.
I suppose, an important thing to start off with this as well is why are we doing this,
Yeah.
And it's mainly to document how we're chasing our dreams. We're both at the start of these journeys that we're on, and we want to take you guys along the way.
And you'll be following us every step of the way, basically. So with this podcast, we're just going to, like as Archie was saying, document everything that we have going on. We're going to talk about multiple topics, culture, MMA, fights, comedy, all sorts of stuff. And we've got a lot planned down the line for you guys.
And make sure you watch right to the end because we've got a pretty funny But let's start with some background, brother. Let's start with you, man. Tell the people about yourself.
As I was saying, MMA fighter. I'm about 12 fights deep now, 12 amateur fights in MMA. I've been training for about 8 years. The way I got started really was, say, 8 years ago. We were all 16, we were all out. Long story short, we all got mugged.
Tell them where we got mugged.
Crawley, of all places.
The bus
couldn't tell. But yeah, so that happened, and I just thought, I don't know how to defend myself, so I kind of need, some skills to, defend myself and fight back at some point. So I found this gym in East Grinstead in town called Connects Fight Academy, and I've been there ever since.
Yeah.
I've been training with Mark, Tom, all them for my whole career, and I'm just hitting different levels every single year. So I'm getting closer to stepping into that professional cage, putting the 4 ounces on and getting some elbows in.
That's it.
So yeah, what about you, Arch?
I grew up in Asia, moved to England when I was 10, and I moved to the same town as Rienel, and we started at the same school, and we've been friends for about 10 years now.
Yeah, it's been a while, hasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Turn around, I'm fucking 23, bro. Starting podcasts and shit.
Yeah.
So I was working in corporate, I was working in media and technology, and I just had a spiritual awakening one day, and I think, I can't sell any more adverts.
I don't like this anymore.
But yeah, that's a bit about us. Obviously, we kind of mentioned we met at school, and truthfully, we're just brothers now.
Yeah, at this point, he's my kuya, I'm his kuya, and
it.
kuya just means brother in Filipino, in Tagalog.
For this section, we're going to talk about the pursuit, because we're at the start of these journeys, right? Respectively, for MMA and for comedy. I suppose, Rienel, let's kind of get a bit of a start of your career in MMA.
I started about 8 years ago. My first time at the gym was it was around summer, just before summer, and I went to a Muay Thai class actually, and one thing led to another. I really loved that class. Ended up going to more Muay Thai classes, and then started the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, which was really interesting. I found it a bit harder to learn compared to Muay Thai, but yeah, I just kept that going while I was at school, training about 3-4 times a week in the evenings, some Saturdays, and then give it 7 months, something like that. I had my first fight in October, first amateur fight in October. You probably remember that. But yeah, I mean, I was so green, and there was a lot to learn from that fight. But you know, it was a close fight against a pretty tough guy who's already had like two fights under his belt.
And no fight is easy, is it? Right?
No, exactly. No fight's easy. But I think it was good experience for my first fight. But you know, it just kicked me up the arse to train more and get a win.
Had you had any kind of background in any combat sport prior to stepping into the gym?
No, I have had zero. Yeah. Okay, maybe a couple, street fights now and again, but you can't really call them that training really. So yeah, I was completely new to everything, and here we are now, 12 fights deep. I've got a title fight, as you know.
Do you want to tell them the dates?
So title fight, guys. If you end up coming to watch, it's in Rochester on Bloodline Fight Series. It was on the 28th of April. So 4 weeks as of today. I don't know when the video is going to come out, but you see.
Subject to editing.
So all the details are going to be in the description. So I'll put the link to tickets, the pay-per-view. Our Instagram, socials, all of that, just to keep you in the loop. But yeah,
perfect. And then for me, I've been doing stand-up comedy for about a year. As you know.
You've been very constant with it as well.
It's
all about consistency. Do you know what I mean? So
any kind of skill, it's like we're both in an artistic pursuit, right?
Yeah.
I mean, yours hurts a lot more than mine does. Don't get me wrong.
It's a bit more physical.
Yeah, I've not been punched in the face yet, but. For me, it was such a 180 in terms of the life I'd built.
Oh, right, 100%. Like you've been in London. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I'd always see you now and again.
Yeah.
Because, right, so guys, I've got a European politics degree as well from King's College. Weird flex, but okay.
The mouse of what's got kicked to the head.
But now I'm just digging holes and punching people in the faces. So really using that degree. So kids. Don't go to uni. But yeah, honestly, like this guy was just at his first company, and I'd see him for lunch now and again, and he was just in that corporate life.
Yeah.
That corporate life, like just busy.
And it had taken up, the entirety of my being, really. It was
exactly. Like your social, your mental, all of that.
You know that. And as well, it's like, you got to develop an ego in whatever thing you specialise in, right? And for me, it was like a pivotal moment. It was like, I'm sure like most 13-year-old lads was like watching Wolf of Wall Street.
Oh shit, I want to be that guy. I want to be in a suit, I want to get that money. I want to get a girl sucking me off in a Ferrari. Is that too much to ask for?
Seriously, man. And then, at some point, you spend 5 years doing something and you're working hard at it, and I'm sure you've had moments of questioning yourself in your pursuit, but yours is a passion, whereas mine was purely just to enrich myself financially. And I got to a stage where I thought, I've done this for 5 years now and I don't actually feel any fulfillment in what I'm doing. I know I'm better since when I started, but where I currently stand at, when I was 22 having this moment was going, what do I want the rest of my life to look like? I remember Jimmy Carr talking about this on a few podcasts over the last kind of 12 months, which was a quarter life crisis. And I think I definitely had that, bro. I'm not going to lie to you. It was one of those where you kind of wake up one day and you're like, the ego I've now developed isn't in line with the person I want to be and what I want to do moving forward. So essentially what this is, as we've said, this is just going to be growing with us. Like this podcast, every episode will be us at the inception, because we're still very green in our journeys, in it. But it's also about documenting the journey, the highs,
the lows, the good, the bad,
the milestones as well. So like when we have big moments, we can come on here
share that
and really say it from our own heart instead of just an Instagram post.
So it's going to be a very personal podcast.
That's it. You kind of touched upon it, but it was like that. What made us start? And for you, it was getting jumped at the crawling bus depot.
Straight from us, mate. Straight from mate.
We were just getting a Nando's, bro.
Literally got a Nando's and then, lost all my money. But carrying on from that, there was that thing where I was just like, I needed to feel secure. I needed security in myself. I need to know that to I can handle myself when situations do arise. But that ended up building a passion for martial arts.
Yeah.
And I just try to dedicate the rest of my life for it now.
Yeah.
And early on it was hard. Like it was not necessarily hard. It was just different. Again, touching on, as you were talking about ego, my ego was a bit different back then when I was young. I always thought, oh, now I'm a fighter. I've had my first fight. Now I can class myself as a fighter. I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
All right, and I don't think that sort of mindset for me helped me become a better fighter. All right. So I think more recently now, within the last 1 or 2 years, like I think I've really knuckled my head down. I've asked these questions to myself, like, do I really want it?
Yeah.
Like, what do you want to be in the next 5 years? What's your roadmap? Like, and now, everything's piecing together nicely. I've got strategies in place, for each training camp. I'm thinking about what happens this week, what happens that week. It's all a lot more structured, basically.
Yeah.
And that's just down to all that passion.
And do you think of that? I think it's kind of like parlays what you're not saying nicely in terms of like changing how your frame of mind was about fighting. It's like, do you think having some key figures in your life was important at that time?
Yeah. So early on, like I said, my coaches made the biggest impact on me, and they still do now. Okay, they're pushing me to just become the best fighter that I can be.
Yeah.
So shout out to Mark Hobbs. Okay. My head coach, and then shout out to Tom K9 Green.
Because you guys got a strong team.
So yeah, we do have a strong team. It's a very tight family team now. Okay, and we help each other outside the gym, inside the gym, in all sorts, all different areas, and building that bond really solidifies a better relationship with said coach and fighter. But we're all friends, we're all family, and we're there for each other. And I look up to all my coaches, and even the young guys coming up at the gym. Like, hard work inspires me to work harder. Do you know what I mean? If I see someone grinding it out, as hard as they can, that makes me want to push more. If I'm in the gym, they're lifting weights, I want to lift weights.
Yeah.
They're smacking the pads as hard as they can, I want to smack the pads as hard as I can.
Yeah, and that just
they're chasing. Yeah, exactly. It all compounds in the gym.
Yeah.
But for you, what inspires you?
So for me, it was a day where you go, I can't be this guy anymore. I started thinking and having a lot of introspection in myself and going like, okay, what is it I want to be then? And I had these feelings of, I want to entertain, I want to make people laugh. I feel like that's a more rewarding metric than just going, how do I be a millionaire as quick as I can? And an important moment early on in my life was watching Richard Pryor's live in concert special. Have you ever seen that?
No.
Oh mate, that's a banger. It's on Netflix, bro. It's so good. So that for me was the first time when I was a child where, I didn't know who the fuck Richard Pryor was. I didn't even know what stand-up comedy was. But just seeing this guy go up there, hold a microphone, and people laugh. It was like magnetizing, you go like, whoa, what is that? I'm sure.
Take a step back and just you analyse that whole situation.
You go, wait, whoa,
yeah.
People can do that?
Yeah.
And then, you don't think anything of it, because I was a kid at that point. I don't know what age I was. I must have been like 7 or 8 when I saw those images. But then, a little bit later in my life, it was when Joe Rogan released his Triggered special. And I don't know if you've seen that one either. But
I think everyone's seen that one.
There's a specific joke he does about like the Kardashian mum being this demon.
And he gets on the table.
And that to me, I was like, wow, how can someone's brain be used to come out with that? And you sit on that, and I must have been 16 or 17, probably the same time you were going to the gym. And you go like, that's an art form. And then for me, like that first day was going to that open mic in the town I live in.
And just sending it.
And just doing it,
Just doing it, man.
And
I remember you messaging me, be like, oh, I'm doing this thing.
Oh, bro.
I've just done it.
And I can't lie, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, that was a banger, I made the room laugh. It was a music open mic night. People were going there to listen to Oasis tributes, you know what I'm saying? How the fuck am I going to follow Wonderwall? I got that. I did about 3 minutes, but in that 3 minute window, as I'm leaving the pub after, I'm going, shit, I've done it now. It's the same as you going to that Muay Thai class. I've done it now.
Yeah.
And I can go back again.
You can go again. Then it just feels more comfortable every time you go, and you feel relaxed. And then you just keep going.
That's it.
And like I said, it's consistency.
That's it.
That's all it is.
And I suppose, you know, for me, like a key figure in my life, and it goes back to when I was working in corporate, it was a mentor of mine. His name's Jason Westcott. I think I've told you about him, Filipino guy as well. And he is a DJ outside of the career that we were in. Really cool guy. His DJ's name, Face the DJ. He's a DJ for Akala. You know, so it's like he's a successful DJ. Just seeing a guy who had enough capacity to juggle the successful career he'd built in corporate and then do this really fucking cool thing.
Enter into DJing, yeah.
And go, okay, there's more to life than just this.
Yeah.
And you know, just little conversations you have with him about like his wider life. You go, damn, I want to find my DJ. I ain't gonna be a DJ. There's enough white DJs in the world.
I'm listening to the music, not doing the music.
I'm just in the smoking area all the time anyway. So yeah, that's kind of like setting you guys up for a bit of context about us, and just giving them a bit more.
Just a little bit, you know. We'll go on a full. I reckon we do a full episode.
Yeah.
You know, on a full background on.
Because I think if these guys would want one, like I think a real episode about like, how we really met,
and the story,
how the friendship developed over time as well.
Strong as a belt.
That's it. See, that's an inside joke now, but at some point they're going to get it. But in terms of, you know, the direction of the podcast, there's loads of stuff we want to do in it. We're really coming out with loads of ideas.
We've got so many ideas. Like we've got you know this segment called MMA Minute, where we just take, you know, maybe not a minute, but like 2-3 minutes talking about, you know, MMA news. You know, it might be the fighters, might be what's going on different shows,
whether or not Conor McGregor's doing cocaine or not. He is. And still was like, he was juicy in Roadhouse, bro. He's fucking mad.
I still haven't seen that, to be honest.
Oh, bro, it's a good watch, but I don't think Conor McGregor should keep acting.
Oh, yeah, I've heard very mixed reviews on that one.
Yeah, so there's going to be loads of stuff, right? So we'll have specific themed episodes.
We've also got special guests coming in.
Special guests. I think between our networks of comedians in my world and fighters in your world.
Coaches, all of that.
And it's also because the premise of this podcast is the pursuit of our dreams, right? And the yin and yang, the light and dark of this life that we're doing, because it ain't all beers and skittles.
The good, the bad, you know.
That's it. So it's anybody.
There's a lot that, you know, in your industry, in my industry, there's a lot of things that people don't see.
Yeah.
And I feel like we can use this platform to show them not just the face value of what goes on in our respected industries, but what's behind the scenes.
That's it.
What happens, you know?
Because things like Day in a Life is going to be really funny.
Oh yeah.
We'll get me in the gym, because I've never stepped in a gym. You know what I'm saying? Not in a combat gym in that sense.
Well, there we go.
So we'll see some funny stuff. But we're going to do a joke of the day, and we'll do some comedy skits as well. Because I think it's just about.
I feel like, you know, we can't not have a comedy skit.
Yeah, we're coming out with some stuff.
Yeah.
And then a key segment and a recurrent theme of this podcast is going to be. It's basically going to be Rienel fucking me up in 100 different ways.
So you might have heard Dumb Ways to Die. This is his version. So I'm just gonna at the end of each episode, I'm gonna teach you a few moves. Well, one move. In 3, 2, 1. I think you forgot to tap.
Yeah, I didn't forget to tap. I died out there, man. First of all, you know, thank you guys for listening up till now. You know, this was kind of more of us talking at you guys instead of us talking
together. But again, it was just to introduce us. Yeah, again, thank you for listening, and thank you for, you know, beginning this journey with us.
Seriously. If you like the premise, if you like the video, make sure you like, share and subscribe. Helps the algorithm out.
And we're not trying to be small-time podcasters.
You know what I'm saying?
But yeah, also all our socials, any dates and stuff are all going to be down below in the description. My Instagram is RTB MMA. My TikTok is The Thrilla.
My Instagram is @Archie'sComedy. It's the same across all platforms. Thank you guys for watching.